Good morning, everyone. Jason here. How's everyone doing? Right. Okay, that's great. Okay. Let's get started. Okay. And today, we are going to talk about the topic on this topic. All right. It's called the buyer's pyramid. Okay. Now, before that, if you're new to us and you are receiving this as a gift or as a because somebody care for you and they passed on the recording and the replay for you to learn this topic today because they found value and they want you to learn, because I allow all my graduates and my clients to share with someone that they care about, to help them in their struggles. And the reason why I do that is because I believe and I made a promise, right? Two reasons. Number one, um, I believe that the only thing I can bring out of this world after I leave this planet, the only thing I can bring is my soul. I can't bring the information, I can't bring my body, and I can't bring the money in my wallets. But what I can bring is my pride, my soul, and I can't even bring my achievements, right? But I believe that what I leave behind is also as important as very much important of what I bring to life as well. That's number one. So that's my way of leaving a legacy behind. Um, Now, second reason is that I made a promise many decades ago that if I were to um, be able to get out of my struggles or able to learn very phenomenal breakthroughs and information that can lead to my breakthrough, I made a promise, a spiritual promise. Whichever you believe, whether is it God, Buddha, right? Whichever you believe, that's fine. You know, but I made a belief. I made a promise, and that promise, right, is about the fact that if I were to learn it and if I were to get it, I want to teach it for free, right? Unfortunately, because of the society, I can't really teach everything for free. However, what I can do is I can allow and offer and allow my graduates and my clients to offer it to someone that they love, right? So now, that being said, that is the reason why you are able to enjoy the class, okay? And you might be someone I care about, and I pass on the replay to you as well, okay? Um, so that being said, um, who else is ready for the class today? Let me know. All right. I forgot to mention, for those of you who are new, right? Okay. And if you're receiving this replay as a gift, then what you have, what you can do is that if you want more videos like this, and if you don't know how to sell and you don't know how to close, at the same time you want to get more capital, maybe you're raising capital, maybe you want to enroll more students if you are a speaker as well, if you're a speaker, trainer, teacher, you want to get more students and you don't know how, and then or if you're in a very traditional business, right, very traditional and boring business, you can also benefit by learning how to sell and close and get more customers. All right, so just simply go to authorjason.com/reviews in order for you to start getting your to attend a free class, and then you can start off from there. All right. Now, for those of you who are already been with me for a while, you can go to authorjason.com/buy 1Pitch, and if you want to enroll into the program, if you are not already, all right. Uh, most of you here are already graduates and clients of the program, right? Yeah, those of you who attend this live, you're already because this is not offered to the public, This is very exclusive to only to people who already in 1Pitch, right? So for those of you who are not in yet, you can go there and get yourself enrolled if you want more content, if you want more teaching and topic like this, okay? All right, so with that being out of the way, let's go into today's teaching and topic. All right, so I received a lot of questions this week about the lack of customer, number one. I also I also noticed and received and also observed that a lot of people, a lot of my clients and others, right? They are creating a lot of contents. They're making a lot of social media posts and things like that. Every day they are burnt out, right? Mentally, just thinking about what to post, just thinking about, just posting on social media kind of like drains them out. And so this week has a lot of people who are, this week will be specifically for you if you are burnt out from a lot of content creation and you are still not getting customers, right? And you kind of like very confused, don't know what to do, and you start to feel like, is this even worth it, right? Then I'm also getting a lot of questions on how do you actually reduce the cost per lead and increase more leads and get more customers. That is one big problem. Number three of the question for today's coaching is, how do you get more customers? How do you stand out and how do you win your competitors, right? So so this will be relevant for you today if you are one of those who actually have those questions as well. Sounds good? Let me know. Let me grab a sip of coffee. All right. Okay, so let's get started. Now, so this graphic that you see here is called the buyer's pyramid. All right. Let me see. Okay, so let me see if I have a blank version I can show it to you. Hang on. Okay, I do. So this is called the buyer's pyramid. Okay, now for today's coaching, I just want you to focus on the top triangle. Okay, in other classes we'll go deeper into the rest. Now this is conceptualized, created and researched and really popularized by a guy called Chet Holmes. If you don't know Chet Holmes, he's one of my great teachers, and when I first learned this from him, everything changed for me and all my clients as well. All my clients, my students, my graduates. And if you go and see my reviews page for my testimonials and all my wall of results, a lot of them receive results all because of this one thing, okay, among many things else. Now, who is Chet Holmes? So give you a context, right? Chet Holmes is the guy behind a lot of multi-billion-dollar companies. Out of the Fortune 500 companies, right? He has at least, if I'm not wrong, at least 100, if not 200. If not minimum 50. Okay, so he was even responsible for Charlie Munger's he has I think a news agency or something, right? He was selling ads on a newspaper or something. So he was the guy that is responsible for Charlie Munger, right? The multi-billionaire Warren Buffett's partner. So for consecutive back to back 3 years straight, right? He doubled the sales of that company every single year. And at the end of third year, right, Charlie Munger brought Chet Holmes to his office and asked him, hey, are you sure we're not doing anything wrong, unethical? Are we giving any kickbacks? Because in my years of investing in so many companies, I've never experienced and seen and involved in a company myself that the sales double every single year for back to back 3 years straight. So are you sure we are not doing anything illegal or wrong? you know so that was a strong testimony of Chet Holmes. And then he went on to become Tony Robbins' partner. And Chet Holmes was the first, I was not say, I think it's the first guy. Chet Holmes was responsible, um, as a result of Chet Holmes, right? This program called Business Mastery existed because Chet Holmes spearheaded the first ever with Tony Robbins. He persuaded Tony Robbins to have a program called Business Mastery, and Chet Holmes was the leading teacher for on the business principles and the marketing principles in Business Mastery program. And I was fortunate enough to learn that program. Chet Holmes before that has other programs, but with Tony Robbins, that was the first kickoff. And he has 12 principles in total. Buyer's Pyramid is one of the 12 that you will learn as well, because I learned all of my great things from him. And he used the same thing that persuaded and convinced Tony Robbins to launch Business Mastery. So who else have attended Business Mastery before? It's not a cheap program. Anyone? Yeah, so you're learning something that is like, people have to pay 30, 50, 60, hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn. Sounds good? Okay. Okay, so that is the background and the context of Buyer's Pyramid. Okay. And then one thing I need to make sure that you know is that if you're new with me, then here's how I operate. Whenever I am using a framework or something else that I learned from somebody else, I would always make sure that you know that it came from somebody else. You will always know the source. You'll always know who I learned this from. In the event, and there's two reasons for that. Number one, I really value original creation because I'm a creator myself. I really value the the amount of work, the decades of discipline and dedication, and then eventually creating an intangible and invisible force to become a tangible framework. So I really value that, and I really I am in appreciation of that all the time. So whenever I'm using Chet Holmes, for example, this Buyer's Pyramid, right, I wouldn't want to claim it as mine. I will always want to give him, even though he has already passed. So that's one reason. Reason number two is because in the event that you might want to further study on this specific topic on your own free time, right? Maybe you are in your 20s and you have a lot of free time. Maybe in your 40s and 50s and 60s and you have a lot of free time. I don't know which stage of your journey you're at. So what happened is that when I was a student decades ago, right, I learned from many different teachers and speakers. And I found that people at the highest level, they never need to claim anything that is not theirs. But whatever is theirs, they will protect. Whereas people at the starting out or the newer level, they always like to, force package something that's not theirs as if it's theirs, just to look smart, that the audience will pay them money for it. And no harm, no foul to them. I was one of those in the past, right? I was a victim of my own criticism in the past as well. Not criticism, I mean frustration. Why? Because, right, after I learned from them, right, even though after I paid the money, I still couldn't further my learning. Now, the reason why I created so many online programs, right, is because I attended a lot of live programs. They don't offer recordings, they don't offer continuation support, and I found myself stuck and frustrated. And the only thing that I can do to get more of their support, guidance, and mentorship is I have to invest another 5-figure sum, which at that point of time I do not have. What I do have is my resources, my creativity, and my time. So I found myself caught in a Goldilocks situation that I want to further my studies, but I don't know what they are teaching, so I couldn't. So what I did was I got very creative, and I started finding my ways around whatever I learned, and then I found the very essence that actually a lot of them are just taking from they're either taking from some other speakers or some other teachers, and then after that they kind of like try to, it's basically like you go and buy something from the market, or you go and buy something from the shop, and it's actually from China, and then you just slap a new label on it. Right? Okay, it's basically the same, right? There's nothing wrong with it. Basically everything we buy today is a relabel, right, from something else. Now there's no harm, no foul, no force to it, right? But for me, I don't want someone else to live my frustration. Okay, I am about passing on a legacy, grooming skills, and cultivating talents. So in order for you to become successful, you have to put in the work to drive, but you need to know the techniques in order for you to learn to deepen the skills, right? You need to know at least what is a pedal, what is a name, and things like that. So that's what I'm about. I'm not just a relabel factory. Some people really successful by doing relabeling, white labelings, correct or not, reselling. For me, I'm really successful when I groom the skills of you, when I groom the skills for all of you. Is this making sense? Right? Right? Who else have experienced that, that because of this difference of philosophy, right, that you learn from me and you're a part of, that you actually find yourself in a better spot. Yeah, you know learning from me was good enough. Thank you, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. you know um I try to teach the best of what my teachers teach, and I make sure that that it's my teachers. So if the event that you or your child does not align with my teaching style, they can still learn the principle from somebody else's teaching style. Because there's so many difference of people, right? There's 16 different personality profile. There's 60 major character profile, and then there's 4 major um, um, what's this called, traits of behaviors. There's a lot, right? You can dissect it down. So you see, even the way I speak, some of you will be already, right, in the last 10 minutes by now. Even the way and the tonality I speak in today's class might bore some of you. Okay, while the rest of you will feel like, okay, it's very calming, it's very nurturing, it's very, smoothing. But for those of you who are very fast paced, then today's tonality is making you feel a bit sian, right? in Singapore context, sian means a bit, a bit slow, a bit draining. Okay, so that being said, to explain the reason, everyone found that useful? Okay, great. All right, let's get into it. So remember, we are bamboo forests. We cultivate, we groom. We're in order to race very fast in the F1 track. The race only lasts for 2 hours, but the training and the practice is for 20 hours, if not 20 days, if not 20 years. Right? So the cultivation is slow, the grooming is slow. But once you get out there, the activation, the results will be very fast. Got it? Okay. So coming back to the buyer's pyramid. Okay. So according to Chet Holmes, right, in your entire industry, in your entire marketplace, okay, now only 3% ever is ready to buy now. That means you go to your WhatsApp group chat, you go to your Facebook group, you go to anything, you post on the social media. Okay, if you have 1,000 friends, only 3% are ready to buy now, without you doing anything else, without you being Tony to hype up your likes, right? Without a Kim Kardashian kind of branding, right? without anything, just a stale average of the market. Got it? So that's what Chet Holmes is saying. Okay. Now, so in that context, right? So what if I tell you, let's say on the left side of the screen is the number of customers and people in your village. Now I want you to imagine this. The village has 2,000 people. Okay, 1,000 of them is buyers, customers, consumers. The other opposite 1,000 is the vendors, the business, and the merchants. Okay, so 1,000 customers and 1,000 business, because the world should be fair, right? The world should be equal, right? So 1,000. Now according to Chet Holmes, there's only 3% that's ready to buy now, which I've tested in the last 2 decades. Is true, right? If you ever realize, right, your click-through rates, your purchase rate, if you calculate, is always going to be 3 to 10%, no more than 10% usually, unless you go viral. Okay, now that's topic for another day. So let's say there's only three, so that's 30% people who are ready to buy now, correct or not? Now, however, let's look at the opposite side. As a business, right, as a vendor, as a merchant, which side of the which area do you want to be positioned in at? You want to be at the top, right? Because people are buying now. So these 30 of them, if you don't grab them, somebody will, correct? So there's 90% of you who would be at the top, isn't it? So can you see the polarity in comparison now? So right, you can see that it's a huge problem. Why do you have a lack of customers? Why don't you have people responding to you? Why is your cost per lead so high? You can see that 900 of you wants to actually um 900 of you want to actually sell to 30. So supply and demand, right? When there's very little people buying, a lot of people selling to them, your cost per customer of course is expensive. Why? Because it costs you a lot more money to get in front of the 30, isn't it? Okay, so if you have bought a space in exhibition before, if you have invested in a booth in exhibition before, you will realize that you have to spend a lot of money at those events. Why? Because those events curated all the 30 for you, right? And then after that, that's why you spend, because in that space only so many vendors can put a booth there. So therefore your cost per customer is very expensive. Now, not to forget, if you are posting on social media or you are investing in the advertisement, right, everyone is trying to get people to buy now. If you see every advertisement, they say, okay, come in, I give you a 10% discount, come in, I give you a 20% discount. Everyone is using that tactic to in order to get people who are ready to buy now. Okay, so that's the reason why you're getting a lot of you're not getting results. And that's one big thing that changed, and you need to change this one big thing. How do you get started? Okay, so I created, so this is mine, okay? This is my creation, the money path. Okay, my creation is a readaptation. So what, during my real estate days, right, what I did when I was selling real estate, what I did was I prepared three different guides to serve three different journeys of their life. This is called a buyer's journey readapted. Okay, my buyers would are those who wants to sell their houses. HDB represents a public housing in Singapore, and then they want to sell their public housing and actually stay in a private condominium. Okay, now there are three things that they need to do. The first thing they need to do is to locate an area that they want to move into. Maybe it's the same area or a separate one. Then they need to go and view the house, and then they need to negotiate the price, correct? So what I did was I created three different guides that I offer people to um, take a route, right? So because the truth is, most of the customers over here, right, they are not very interested to buy from me right now. In fact, they might not be even thinking about buying from me right now, correct? And there will be a very small percentage of people who are open to actually buying now. Now, so what I want to do is I want to get in front of them before they want to buy now. Now, this buying now as an real estate agent is what? Is when they buy my service, right? They engage me, they call me, they say, okay, I want you to get a house for me. I want you to sell a house for me, correct? So, at that stage of my life, I was focused on purchasing, buyer's agent. So, my strategies were around finding buyers, not sellers. But it works the same, um, whatever you're doing. Is how can you escalate? So every tactic today, right? AI, content creation, short video, all these are tactics and noises that if you don't have this fundamental principle, what is beneath the soil, you end up going round and round in circles, and you realize that a lot of things you do are not effective, even though it's efficient. This is the reason why. So what I did was that I put in um, the reason why I created these three guides, right? You can see they need to locate an area, view and house, and negotiate the price. Now, when they are just starting out, they might not want to buy and they are not very interested in talking to me at all. Correct? So when they do not want to buy now, but they might have a thought about their area, if they ever want to buy the condo, right, they'll be able to um, learn about the checklist. Right now, as they get slightly potentially interested, okay, they have the guide of sellers don't want them to know, right? That guide was about 7 secrets sellers don't want buyers to know. Now, who would actually want those kind of guides? Is when people who are already potentially interested in buying, right? And then finally, the last guide is about negotiating, right? Step by step to negotiate for your dream house. Okay, so who would want to learn how to negotiate for the house? For sure, they are already slightly higher up the chain, that they might be open to buying now, right? So, or they are already potentially shopping for the house. Okay, so what happened is that I'm way ahead of these potential buyers, but in two positioning. One, I'm positioned before they actually wants to buy a house. So by the time they actually start looking for a house, I am in the most expensive real estate in the world, which is their mind. Do you see that? Okay. So because I'm inside their mind, by the time they want to buy now, do you think the chances of them, right, contacting me is higher, or do you think the chances of them going to Google and look for my competitors will be there? Okay. So the essence is that by the time, right, to summarize, right, and let's recap and summarize, and then we end off for the day. Okay. So by the time, the essence is that by the time your customer wants to buy from you, or rather wants to buy the product, whether is it a chair, a broom, a trolley, right, a bamboo stick, whether is it a plot tree, it doesn't matter. Whether it's a bag, whether is it a pants, a trousers, okay, or it can be a service like interior design. By the time they need it, there's only two choices. There's only three, right, path that they can take. Number one, they go to Google and they start finding people, correct? Number two, they ask their friends who has recommendation. And number three is they immediately think of you. Now, which of these three position, right, puts you in that way better spot? Number one, you fight with your competitors on Google and then you spend $50, $500 per lead. Number two, you get referred. That's if you do a good job for your referrals. Number 3, take control and own a piece of real estate inside the mind of your prospects that they automatically come to you when they need to buy. Which one is better? Which one puts you as the most logical choice to help you sell the premium that you want to sell at, as well as to be the exclusive and only vendor, merchant, and business to exist in their hearts? Which one is better, guys? 1, 2, or 3? Fight with a competitor, hope and pray that your referrals send them to you, or number 3, seize control, be in control, and own a piece of intangible real estate in their mind? Which one is better? Which one allows you to command premium pricing? Exactly, all of you are getting it, right? So this is not a sprint, this is a marathon. This is how legacies are built. This is what LV, Hermes, all these big brands, this is how they built luxury brands. This is how they built their brand that stood against the test of time. All right, and you are going to be one of them. Okay, it's good. So now is this always going to be like a very long period? Not essentially, right? What I experience is that, when you have these strategies in place, when you have this concept working for you, what's going to work for you is that some people might already be in the 3rd stage, which is open to buying now. And then during that stage, they found these 3 guides that I put up. Okay, and they're in that. So some you are trying to get in front of them 8 months before they are making their purchase. Got it? But there'll be pockets of buyers, right? They are in the final month of conclusion. They are in the final month of wanting to buy something already. They have already done their last 8 months of research and work. And in that last final month, you finally got in front of them. They finally found you. Then they saw all this work that you put out, and instantly and immediately within that month, they make a very, very fast decisions immediately. They pay you a premium because you're the number 1 and logical choice, because you are the most you're the most logical choice in their business. Make sense? So it can happen as fast as within a month to see result. Okay, that's why you see all of these results. Okay, remember the date formula that I talked about, right? If you are discovered, if you get their attention and they trust you and they enjoy working business with you, then this is the result that you can get as well. Right? So let's recap. All right, let's recap. Number 1, what did we learn today? We learned about the buyer's pyramid, correct? We learned that in the world of equality, there's only 3% of people who are buying now. The villagers, only 30 of them will be buying, and only 30 of them will be buying, correct? Okay. On the opposite side, 1,000 businesses, 1,000 vendors, but 900 of them are trying to sell to the 30. So that resulted in what? That resulted in the problem of your cost per advertising is very high. You're getting very little customer, and you cannot stand out from the crowd. You cannot rise among your competitors. So what is that solution? How do you get more customers? Is to get in front of them before they are buying it. So you want to get ahead, you want to get in front, you want to get involved before. How do you do that? You do it through education. You do it through offering assistance, help and guide. You produce education. It can be in the form of videos like that. It can be in the form of guides and PDF. It can be in the form of many, many different things. All right? In your videos, in your social media, as you're posting your social media, now do you know what you're trying to post? Because most people are trying to post what? Things that's in the top 3%, correct? So they're always talking about their products. They're only talking about their products. You don't want to do that. Okay? So so how do you and the beautiful benefit of if you move downwards the chain, right? How do you actually get more customers is by two things, right? Owning a piece of intangible real estate in their mind 8 months before they're ready to buy, 9 months before they're ready to buy. And then this, for those of the buyers who are ready to buy, they might find you during their month of purchase, and it speeds up their decision cycle. That's number one. There's two ways, right? Now, finally, there's three ways for you to get a customer. There's only three. One, when they need to buy a product, they go to Google and find a potential vendor, and then you have to fight among everyone else to get them, to get their attention, to get their clicks. You have to pay more to get their attention. Number two, you pray and you hope and you gamble on the fact and the potential have that on the potential fact that your people will refer you, right? It's a gamble and hope. Number three, it's you take control and you seize control and you be in a position of being able to own a piece of asset in their mind that by the time they want to purchase your product, your vendor, your service, they immediately call you because you are on their mind. You are the number one choice when it comes to wanting to buy your product. You become the only logical choice because no other vendors is in their mind. They don't need to Google. They don't need to ask for referral. In fact, you know what they will do? Before they even buy from you, I've experienced this. My students have experienced this. They will send you referrals even if they are not a buyer yet. That's pretty kick-ass, right? Right, yeah. All right. So who learned a lot of very valuable thing today? Who learned something that's very powerful? Okay. Now, your homework. That's great, man. That's great, guys. Thank you. Okay, thank you for the past tip. Oh my god, amazing. Okay, so so your homework. Okay, what is your homework? Your homework is to ask yourself. All right, get behind the wheel, and get under the hood, and readjust your entire marketing efforts. If you have been talking about your product over and over again on your social media, if you're advertising only to the 3%, now I want you to take a step back and ask yourself, okay, how can you get in front of them before? Work out your money path, right? What do they want to escape from? And where do they want to arrive at? And then in between, how can you fill that gap? Okay, that's your homework, right? Okay, great. Right, so for those of you who are in the inner circle, we will review your homework and we will review what you come up with. Okay, for those of you who are not, okay, and for those of you who are public and you're watching this for the first time, if you want a free class, go to authorjason.com/reviews. You'll see people who are getting results. You see my graduates and my clients, the results they are getting. You see what kind of business they are in. All right, and when you're ready, go to authorjason.com/buy1pitch to enroll yourself and join us. All right, now that being said, everyone have a great day. Start doing your homework, and then we will review together soon. Okay, all right, bye everybody. All right, enjoy your day. All right, so before you go, share one learning. Okay, share one learning that you got out of this session today. Share one learning, share one action task you immediately know you are going to take. And I'll see you at the next class, okay? Good, good, good.